I love doing deep dive reviews of kit covering every detail, but that's not what this is. This is the best motorcycle gadgets I've been using that have made my riding year even better. So I just want to show them all to you. Now, as always, none of it's sponsored. I don't have any affiliate links and it really makes no difference to me whether you buy any of it or not. This isn't a Christmas gift guide, but I always do them at the end of the year to flag up what I've found to be great. No clothing, just gadgets and gizmos. I won't do security either, but my next video is one all about what I think is best after more than 8 years of testing, so punch subscribe to not miss that. Of course, if you do see something in here that you want someone to buy you as a present, you can always send them a link to the timestamp. I'll break everything up into chapters in the description. Now let's get on with it. Most of this kit will have proper in-depth written reviews at bikesocial.co.uk, so check them out because they go into real detail and I keep them updated. Google a piece of bike kit for review and you'll probably find us at the top. And if you join me, Michael Mann, the rest of the Bike Social team and thousands of other riders at the Bennett's Bike Social Facebook group, you'll be able to ask as many questions as you want. Anyway, this is going to be a brief look at each bit of kit. So first up, the Optimate TS120 battery and alternator tester. Costs about £40 to £50, but it's easily paid for itself. I've had it donkey's years, and it's not just handy for checking your bike's battery condition in the charging circuit. I take it with me whenever I'm looking to buy a second-hand bike or car. You just connect it up to the battery, fire up the engine, and you'll know straight away what condition the battery is, and importantly, whether the alternator is charging properly. And while we're looking at electrics, if you're riding a lot less over winter, or even if you've got tech on the bike that pulls a bit more power, like a tracker, a maintenance charger is well worth investing in. Make sure though that you get a proper motorcycle maintenance charger that runs through several programs and monitors the state of charge, not a bog basic trickle charger, as they can do more harm than good. Not all chargers support old 6-volt batteries. That's not a problem for a lot of us, but if you've got classics, you need to know. And if you've got a lithium battery on the bike, make sure the charger supports that. And this CTEK CT5 Power Sport is lithium compatible and really simple to use. My ZX6R has a lithium battery because it doesn't get used much, and that type of pack has a really low self-discharge, which means you can leave it for months and it'll still be ready to go as long as there's nothing pulling power on the bike. Now, I don't leave this one on charge, but if it needs a top up, the CT5 is great for that. It'll also do lead acid batteries, of course, and it's got a maximum output of 2.6 amps and is designed for batteries between 5 and 25 amp hour. So when you buy a charger, consider that maximum current output. For a start, it shouldn't be too high if it can't regulate to suit the smaller batteries we have on bikes. But if it can go higher, then it will charge a flat car battery more quickly. Check the range of battery capacities that the charger you're buying covers. That's the bit measured in amp hours, and make sure your bike falls into it. Now this Optimate only has a low output current, so it's not great on cars at all. It's 600 milliamps, that is its maximum output. But I've had it more than 20 years now and it's still going strong. Definitely built to last. I also have an Optimate 1 Plus, which is simple but very effective. Now the CTEK CS1 is hugely versatile and automatically charges lithium and lead acid packs between 3 and 180 amp hours with a maximum output of 8 amps. The only thing is that while it does everything you normally need automatically, like switching to lithium and everything, which is really clever, if you want a bit more info on what it's doing, other than how long it's got left to charge, or you want to put it into supply mode, you have to use an app that's got an irritating login, and on Android at least, has been a bit clunky to use. In day-to-day use, it's brilliant. It's just a bit annoying. I'd rather see a screen. I like chargers to have a display on the unit that tells you what's going on, and this Tailwind T-Charge 12 Evo is a great example of that. Now this CTEK MXS 5.0 tells you a fair bit too, but it also has a built-in tester. It won't do lithium batteries, but it covers 1.2 amp hour to 110 amp hour batteries with a maximum current of 5 amps. Though you do need to select motorcycle mode on this one if you're charging a bike, and then it outputs a lower current. Now I haven't finished reviewing this one yet, but it's been working great, and the testing feature doesn't need it to be plugged into the mains, but it still isn't as convenient or simple as that standalone Optimate tester. Right, that was a long one. So the Insta360 One X2 has been an absolute essential for me when I'm filming on the bike. It's because I can just stick it somewhere, then sort the angle out later. It saves a huge amount of time and lets me get multiple shots in one go. I use the one-touch recording to power it up and start recording, then it turns off when you press it again. There it goes. And I've found one battery easy enough to get all the clips I need right through the day. The only thing you must be aware of with 360 cameras is that the lenses are really vulnerable. I dropped one off a bike once and it damaged both sides. And you can get them repaired by sending them back to China, but it's about 200 quid, so do take care of them. I think there are some companies in the UK that will repair them as well, but that's something I've got to have a look at. However, I've just started using the new Insta360 X3. So this one, it's a fraction bigger than the One X2, but it's got a much bigger screen. Now I'll be doing a full review of this, and it's brilliant so far. Though if you don't need the bigger screen, because like me, you just press the button and worry about it later, the One X2 could be your best bet. I'll do a full review and we'll find out. Whichever you go for, if you want to film on the bike, it's by far the best thing I've ever used. Now, if you're riding in winter, or you just get cold hands any time of the year, one of our Bike Social members reviewed the new Oxford HotGrips Pro. They're not cheap, but there's no separate controller on them, and they're very neatly put together. They're also properly temperature regulated, and that's important. It means they get up to heat and stay there regardless of the riding conditions. Thermostat. They're also hardware in silicon, so they should last well. Keep in mind though that if you wear waterproof gloves in the rain with heated grips, the heat being on the outside rather than the inside, so the heat from your hands, that can reverse the membrane and allow water into them. Now this is the same on all gloves and heated grips, but it's worth knowing because it's a common complaint for all my gloves leak. It's the heated grips. Also from Oxford are these new position marker lights. Now obviously a single light on a bike doesn't give drivers much idea how far away you are or how fast you're going, so these can be a huge safety benefit. I've got them on the back of the VFR and they just tap into power to the tail light. You can also get white ones for the front, and while they aren't designed to light up the road at all, they are really good for helping make sure people can see you. So fixing those Oxford lights to the old VFR was easy, but if I put them on my GS, which has CAN bus, I'd be a bit reluctant to tap into the loom, but that's just me. Despite having loads of accessories, I've avoided touching the loom on that bike at all by using a Hex ezCAN. It's a power distribution module that works with the CAN bus on specific bikes. So most BMWs at first, but they now do them for Ducatis, Harleys, Hondas, Husqvarnas, KTMs, Triumphs and Yamahas. So check out the Hex ezCAN website to see what's available. But for me, it's great being able to set exactly how bright I want the auxiliary lamps in normal and high beam mode. Having them go off when the indicators go on so that people can see the indicator better. Or even having them strobing when I press the horn for extra attention. Being able to have a switched power supply for loads of things like heated kit, phone charger, sat-nav, all that kind of stuff is really useful. And yeah, you don't touch the loom at all, so there's no problems with your bike's warranty. Another really clever safety accessory is Indimate. This just taps into the indicator cables and takes power from your bike's battery to be a Bluetooth sounder. It works on Bluetooth low energy and doesn't take up a channel on your intercom. And as long as your phone's connected to your intercom, it'll always work fully automatically. There's no faffing, it's just there. It makes a relay sound or a selection of others after your choice of delay once the indicator's been activated. It'll even sound in the left or right ear to suit the way you're indicating. If you're city riding and you have the phone on the bars, you might even hear it on there without an intercom. It's a really, really clever solution, and if you keep leaving the indicators on, which is dangerous, this is well worth having. It's cold this time of year, even in my garage, which is why I have this Keis heated vest on. It's running off a battery at the moment, but obviously it'll plug into your bike, and it's always been great stuff. And keeping warm on the bike is about safety as much as comfort. So it's worth knowing that Keis has just released this new Ultraflex range, which is a lighter weight material that's even easier to get under your other gear. To be honest, I never had a problem before getting it under my gear, but it seems as well made as ever, and if you're getting new stuff, might as well get the lighter weight stuff. You can get heated trousers, socks, insoles and gloves too, and in fact the Keis heated gloves have the Bennett's High Performance Gold Award, as they're certified to the highest level too. Find out more about the safest bike kit up here, or Google Bennett's High Performance Award. Anyway, you can choose from a body warmer like the one I've got on, which has heated chest and back, or a jacket like this one, which also has heated sleeves and a heated collar. There's also connections in both of these for trousers, but the jacket has connections for gloves too. So basically, you only need one power cable from the bike to potentially heat your entire body if you use other kit. Now I know I said about heated grips not working with waterproof gloves, but heated gloves are different as the heat is on the inside. Having said that, heated gloves tend to warm the tops of the hand, not the palms, so I usually use heated grips and gloves. If you have lever guards, you don't tend to get much moisture on the palm, so it's not a massive problem, and you can always turn the grips off if you need to, or get some bar muffs. Now it's really important to check your tyre pressures, and I was so impressed with this ring tyre inflator that I bought my brother-in-law one for his birthday. I found the gauge to be very accurate on it, and you just connect it, set the pressure you want, you can do your own presets, then press the button. It's powerful enough for cars too, and great if you let your tyres down at track days, then need to pump them up to get home. The only thing missing is I wish it had a release valve so you could let a tyre down that's overinflated. The thing with the ring is that it's quite small, so really it's only any good for pumping a tyre up when you've let it down a bit. For pumping it up from completely flat, it's really slow. Now this Lokithor kit only arrived yesterday, so I've just had a chance for a quick fiddle while I was photographing it in the studio last night. Now this one's the JA301, and it's a tyre inflator, a powerful work light, a 20,000 mAh battery pack, and a jump starter. The build quality is really impressive, and it's really compact considering what it can do. This is the AW401. It's an inflator, an even brighter work light, a battery pack, and a jump starter too, but it's also got a dual motor water pump in it, and comes with a full hose attachment. I've got to say that I thought this would be pretty weak. It's really surprisingly powerful. It's not a jet wash, but it seems the same or even slightly better than mains pressure, and it'll empty a bucket of water pretty quickly. Now obviously these things can be as useful for cars as they are for bikes, and most riders probably have at least one car in the family. I'll do proper full reviews of these as soon as I can, and they'll be on bikesocial.co.uk, or just Google them and look for the Bennett's logo. I have this massive Jivy Trekker top box that I use on the GS and the VFR. I've had it for years and it's great, but when I just want to carry a few things and want them right in front of me, I'm still loving this SW Motech Daypack. This is the new Pro range, which has a magnetic tank ring to make it snap in place really easily. It doesn't work with the old Evo rings, though those bags are still great too. Now these bags aren't waterproof without the supplied cover, but they're fine in the shower. And if you're out for a fun day's ride, you're probably not going out in the pouring rain anyway. This is brilliant on my ZX6R as I don't have any other luggage on that bike. And when I'm not on track with it, I don't lay across the tank. And I can't really anyway, I end up looking over my glasses. It's not cheap, but it's really well made. I also reckon it's got the best looking tank ring too. I like my Jivy top box, but their dinner plate tank rings just spoil the bike for me. Also from SW Motech is something that really made a difference for me on the GS. These bar back variable risers let you slide the bars back and forth by up to 30mm. Now depending on the size of your bars, they add between 25mm and 30mm of height, which you can't adjust. But while my GS feels good as standard, being able to pull the bars back by just 10mm for me has, along with the 30mm rise, made it absolutely perfect. The handling hasn't been affected, and it's also in a slightly better position for me when I'm standing up too. Really nicely made and worth the money to get things perfectly set up just for you. Another really useful piece of luggage is this Oxford roll bag. Andy here at Bennett's Bike Social has been using it for several months and just straps it to the back of whatever he's riding. These things are tough, totally waterproof and built to last. You'll find them in most dealers and they swallow loads of kit. Now, as I said, none of this has any affiliate links and we don't take any kickbacks. What we do have, though, are hundreds of fantastic discounts for our Bennett's motorcycle insurance customers who buy direct. There's everything from money can't buy BSB experiences to exclusive competitions and all these amazing discounts. Want an Akrapovic or Yoshimura exhaust? You'll get 15% off everything at Performance Parts. There's discounts at Pragmasis, Halfords, Muck-Off, Evotech Performance, R&G, Goldtop and loads more. The Hex ezCAN I mentioned, there's deals on that, but we put them in place to help you get more from motorcycling. We don't get anything back except happy customers. In fact, we've had deals in the past where we've been offered a discount for you and a kickback for us, but we've just asked for all the margin to be put into your discounts. It's not all bike stuff either. You can get 20% off night watches. I got mine with a discount and I love it. Good to know if you want to treat someone or yourself. And you'll get all these deals and much more for free when you insure your bike direct with Bennett's, or if you're with someone else, you can pay to join. Just check it out at bikesocial.co.uk/join. Right, this one's definitely GS specific, but I've been really impressed with the ammo guard from a bike thing. I bought mine in the very first batch, so know how long Steve there spent getting the design and finishing just right. It's pretty pricey, but it really does look factory fitted and makes for a great headlight protector. Now these headlights cost about £1,000 to replace, and while my local dealer told me that unless you're riding off-road, they don't tend to see them getting broken, I'd rather have this and know that if a stray stone does hit it, I only have to replace this plastic insert at worst. There are loads of GS headlight guards out there, but this is by far the best I've seen. I spent ages, I'm sure you can imagine, geekily researching which one I wanted to buy. I've not had any problem with water getting in, and nor has anyone I've found online, and you don't have to modify the bike at all. Just take out the standard trim and fit this in its place. I've got to mention, as always, Calimoto, as I love using that to find great new roads. If I've got a spare hour or two, I just set it to plan a round trip, and it's so much better than the Garmin or TomTom adventurous and winding routes. You can download it and try it for free, so I recommend you do, as it really does find some awesome roads. You've got to try it to see how good it is. Of course, you've got to be able to see your phone, and the two phone mounts I've used and been impressed with are SP Connect and Quad Lock. Very soon, I'll be doing a video properly comparing them both, every detail. It's all ready, but I'm waiting on a scientist I'm in touch with to be able to translate all the vibration data I've sent him. After that, I'll be able to tell you which I think is the best, but for now, I'd say they're both very good, and I haven't had any problems with the Samsung Galaxy S21 or Google Pixel 7 Pro on them. And if you look up the written reviews, Google them, find my reviews on them, I go into a lot of detail of what phones seem to be affected and what I think has been causing vibration issues. Once you have the mounts, as long as you always have a fairly mainstream phone, you should be able to get a case every time you change your phone. Now, while we're looking at navigation, I've got to mention the Carpe Iter Adventure Control, which is designed for any bike with a 22mm bar, and the Carpe Iter BMW Control 2, which uses a standard multifunction wheel and a set of buttons that fit over the throttle. Now, I did a full video on these, which you can see up here, but they're absolutely brilliant for zooming in and out of maps, panning around them, and getting route overviews and recentering. From Google Maps to dedicated software like Locus and Osmond is great. I know I said how much I love Calimoto, and I still use it loads, but now I've started using Locus with the Carpe Iter controllers, I'm discovering even more awesome roads. I've even got proper Ordnance Survey maps on there now. So the Adventure Control will work with any bike that's bars it will fit to, so 22mm bars, or the BMW one is for, well, BMWs. But these are, I reckon, the gadget of the year for me, because not only do they give you great control over maps, uniquely, they also have a heads-up display that you can access with the touch of a button. Now this is unique to them. You can control music from this, the brightness of your screen and other stuff, but the most valuable feature is being able to disable touch on your phone. And that means that if it rains, it doesn't matter. The maps keep working perfectly. And these are made in Prague and shipped from there, but the great news is that a bike thing here in the UK is soon going to be distributing them. There's also the Carpe Iter V4b tablet. And I've got one on the GS, and once you use it, there's no going back. It's basically a ruggedized tablet with a really bright screen and a lockable carrier. Just like your phone, it'll work with the controllers, of course, it's Android, but having this big screen makes it really easy to glance at for navigation, and your maps are really clear. The way I've got it set up, I'm just watching the road, and I can just see at a glance everything that's going on. I've been using it for a while now, and we'll be doing a full review very soon. Keep an eye out for that on bikesocial.co.uk in the product reviews section, or again, just Google it. Now, if all this is too techy for you, a sat-nav might be more your thing. I'm really surprised we've not seen anything new from TomTom, as I'm told that motorcycling is a major part of their business. But I guess mobile phones have had a massive impact on things. Maybe there's something just around the corner, but I've not heard anything. Still, the new Garmin XT2 is very good indeed. So if you want the simplicity of a dedicated device, this is a great option. It can track your mates if they download a free app, and you can actually see where they are on your device, and they can see where you are too, and that's free. And it's easy to use if you don't want to be able to use different software like you can with a phone or tablet. If you want to mount it on the bars like I have, search for Garmin BMW GS bar mount on printables.com, as I designed this one. Otherwise, use a supplied RAM mount or pop it on the accessory bar like this. I also designed an adapter to use it on the bar with the back of the BMW nav mount, and you can find that on my profile on Printables as well. If you want really simple, have a look at Beeline. Now this isn't as versatile or detailed for navigation, but it's a lovely, elegant little device that pairs with your phone to give either specific directions or just keeps pointing towards your destination. If you want to leisurely find your own route somewhere, it's great for that. Right, moving on from navigation, if you're considering a dash cam, have a look at this video as I compared the most popular ones in there. They don't have the same picture quality as a GoPro, but they're always running and you can pretty much forget about them. I found the Innovv K3 to be best for the GS for me as a control box. It's just slim enough to tuck under the rear seat assembly. Ironically, for the type of bike the GS is, it's rubbish for storage space as standard. I wouldn't recommend any of the dash cams really as something to document your rides. You know, if you're going on a big adventure and think, I'm going to film it with my dash cam, it's just not easy to pick through the footage, and the quality is just not there compared to a GoPro or Insta360. But it does, of course, capture everything. And if the worst did happen, it might be handy to have. And if you haven't started your GoPro when your mate does something that you really wanted to see, it'll be on there. As tech goes though, I'd say an intercom system is probably something that most people will get a lot of benefit from. It is handy knowing my wife or daughter can reach me if they need to in an emergency or whatever. Or I can call them and ask them what they want from McDonald's on the way home. But for me, the biggest benefit is being able to listen to sat-nav directions and music. I've reviewed loads of different intercoms, so do check them out at bikesocial.co.uk. But if you want something basic, I'd really recommend the Cardo Spirit HD as it's great value and very good quality. If you want an intercom to talk to more than one mate on a ride though, I strongly recommend you go for mesh as it's far better than Bluetooth. To keep things as reliable and simple as possible, you really want to all have the same brand because mesh isn't complete. Cardo's trying to make Sender compatible with Cardo. Really, you all want to have the same brand. And do keep in mind that some cheaper mesh intercoms, even from the leaders, Sender and Cardo, won't communicate over Bluetooth. So if you've got a more entry-level mesh intercom and your mate's got a Bluetooth intercom, even of the same brand, they might not talk to each other. But having said that, all the ones I've tested, even those more entry-level ones, do still pair to your phone over Bluetooth so you can still music stream. It really is worth having a look at those reviews if you want to know more, and you know, then you can invest once and get the thing that's right for you. Now, another couple of really quick ones that I've had for years. This Trove wallet is really good and compact, so it's ideal to shove in your pocket whatever you're wearing. Again, I've never spoken to anyone at Trove, and I don't care if you buy one, but I spent ages researching wallets, and this was the best for me. This Orbitkey keeps all my keys tucked safely together rather than getting into a bunch of bastards like my other key rings do. I've read people complaining that they come loose, but I know there are lots of knockoff copies out there, especially on online marketplaces. This one has never come loose, and while after a couple of years the screw is a little bent inside, I only noticed when I opened it up to put another key in just the other night, and it still works great. Love it. Last one. I really enjoyed just going out for a ride on my own and stopping somewhere for lunch. This Oxford seat tucks away in its own little bag and is really light. I'm not light, but it's still comfy enough and strong enough to pull up somewhere and enjoy a bit of peace and quiet. I did also buy one for my wife from Amazon, and the one I got from there was just as good. And it was cheaper, but I would say that consistency hasn't always been reliable when buying no-name stuff from Amazon. The Oxford ones tend to be dearer, but the after-sales service through your local store is excellent with Oxford products, and I'm getting that from a mate who runs a bike shop, not from Oxford's PR team. So these are the things that I found most useful this year. Let me know in the comments what bike gadgets you couldn't live without, or better still, join me, Michael Mann, the rest of the Bike Social team and thousands of other riders at the Bennett's Bike Social Facebook group. This is the best thing ever. My daughter bought me this.